Whatever his flaws may be, Riq Woolen did have a bounce-back game in coverage against the Minnesota Vikings. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. We are going a little early this week. Pass coverage Thursday is going to fire on Wednesday. Should be pretty obvious why. Tomorrow is going to be game day, and people aren't really going to care that much about this stuff. They're going to be thinking about the next game. Well, I don't know how many people are going to be thinking about the next game. I definitely feel people starting to check out a little bit. But, hey, we got 2 games left. I'm going to finish the season strong. We're going to go into the new year. Hopefully, we'll still have something to play for the new year. And we'll go from there. So, I do my duty every week as much as I can. And that means sometimes you just put the stuff out there, and the people who like it pick it up. Merry Christmas, by the way. It is Christmas Day now, as of me recording this video and you watching it. Or it's, I guess, after. But let's go ahead and take a look and see who did what in pass coverage this week. And it's a little bit hard to construct a narrative here, because other than, I guess, Trey Brown, who really should not have been on the field anyway, it's hard to isolate anybody who was really bad. Like maybe Julian Love, but Love was not playing poorly until he messed up at the end there, so even that's a little bit thin. So it was just kind of a game. You play a game, you make some decent plays, you make some bad plays, and I didn't come away from this game feeling exceptionally great or exceptionally poorly about anybody. Except maybe I felt good about Woolen, but I don't want to say I feel good about Woolen. I felt better. But anyway, let's get into it a little bit here. One thing I should say is that since I'm firing this early, I usually fire this sometime around, Thursday morning. I'm not 100% sure if PFR updated all their numbers, so I filled in 1 or 2 places. They mostly were updated as near as I could tell, but there is a possibility they update something today. I mean, it's Christmas. I hope they're not making their workers work like that, but it's possible I have an inaccuracy or 2 here. And if I had waited 24 hours, I wouldn't, but I don't want to post this stuff tomorrow. Okay, so Ernest Jones, the 4th, did get targeted a fairly decent amount in this game 4 times, but he didn't give up a ton. He gave up 1 completion according to PFR. We're talking about 7 yards, so not really a big impact on this game. People are definitely going to be remembering that dropped interception for a while, because that probably would have ended the game or very close to it. But overall, he's still not doing bad in coverage, despite it clearly being the hole in his game. And Tyrese Knight also didn't give up that much. 3 completions, 28 yards. I think it was decent. Yeah, it was 3 targets. That's okay. He's a rookie. He's going to get beaten coverage sometimes. I don't consider that to be anything terrible. By the way, almost all of his yards allowed so far this year are yak. So the air yards are very low, which tells you that, yeah, Tyrese Knight's allowing some stuff, but a lot of it is after the catch, when it's not always all his fault. If Tyrese Knight allows a short completion and it becomes a long completion because Julian Love or Uchenna Nwosu or Riq Woolen or anybody missed a tackle, at a certain point, it ceases to really be all that much about Knight. And look, neither of these guys played the whole season, so I don't want to extrapolate too much here. But this is not bad. Your 2 starting inside linebackers have given up a total of 500 yards on the season. And they played a lot, right? Like, Ernest Jones has played most of the season. Knight's played a good amount of football. Like, that's a decent sample size. They're not getting killed. It's not great, but I can live with it. By the way, I believe PFF gave the touchdown to Ernest Jones. PFR did not. So draw your own conclusion on that one. But they didn't give I think it was the Addison touchdown to Ernest Jones. We'll get to who they gave it to in a second here. But yeah, I'm happy with the way the linebackers are covering. Uchenna Nwosu is the player they gave the touchdown to, by the way, which, look, I'm not going to kill Uchenna Nwosu for giving up a touchdown to Jordan Addison. Sometimes you're in a mismatch, and sometimes you just give up a touchdown. So Nwosu allows another completion, a short one, but one that goes for an opening drive touchdown. And, yeah, it's still not really anything overly meaningful. Boye Mafe got targeted once, incomplete pass. Nothing much to say there. Still not seeing any liabilities here, really. Like, Maffei's allowed 50 yards receiving, but he's an edge rusher. I don't see anything here that indicates to me that it's like a problem. And that's all we have for that. Let's move on from the linebackers to the cornerbacks. And again, it's not bad for the most part. Like, Witherspoon got targeted a decent amount in this game. 6 targets, 4 completions, and according to PFR, not even 30 yards. And he's going up against Justin Jefferson, and he's going up against Jordan Addison. It's not an easy ask, and he did fine. And again, it's worth noting that most of his yards allowed this year have been yak, which could be his fault, but it could also easily not be his fault. So I think he's playing well. It's not as good as he was last year, of course, I feel like, but I do think that even the sophomore slump ain't bad. Riq Woolen. A lot of targets in this game, 7 targets, and according to PFR, only 2 completed for a grand total of 16 yards. So he actually did do quite well. And I know that some people are dead set on blaming him on the touchdown to Jefferson that won the game. The thing, here's the bottom line for me. That's clearly cover 2. Very obviously cover 2. And Julian Love just completely blows it on that play. I don't know how else to look at that play other than that. I'm sorry. But is it fair to say that Woolen maybe should have dropped a little faster because there was nothing in the flat? Maybe. But I guess Sam Darnold was also scrambling up, and maybe Woolen was coming up because he was thinking about that a little bit. Maybe he still had eyes on maybe Darnold scrambling for yards. And at the end of the day, Julian Love is clearly, to me, the guy who messed up that play, not Riq Woolen. And I say this as somebody that really doesn't even like Woolen anymore. I don't think his heart's in it. I don't really want him here long term anymore, but I do I do think it's important that we put the blame on the right people when mistakes get made. Period. Trey Brown, I don't even really need to say it. I mean, the numbers are not terrible, right? 2 completions on 3 targets for 33 yards. I mean, that's not the worst day at the office, but he didn't play that much, and the 1-2 punch of the dumb penalty and then the touchdown on 3rd down, it's hard to get past that now. He's got no business trying to defend Justin Jefferson one-on-one in the red zone on 3rd down. That was, somebody made a mistake upstairs that led to that, but it still happened. And what else can you say? Josh Joby, not bad. Again, I don't hold Josh Joby to some super high standard. So he did give up 5 completions in this game on 7 targets, and it was about 50 yards. It's not, if it was Devin Witherspoon with those numbers, I'd probably be a little more critical, but it's Josh Joby. He's the 3rd corner. He's out there grinding. He's out there doing everything he can to just hang in there, and I respect it. Julian Love, obviously the primary culprit on that big play. Didn't give up a ton other than that. 3 completions, 4 targets, and about, 56 yards. 56 yards. I mean, most of that coming on that one play at the end. It's a really bad play. I'm definitely not absolving him of it. And we do have to have a conversation about Julian Love in coverage. Ever since he got here, he's been getting picked apart in coverage. He gives up a lot, and it's worth talking about. It wasn't the case in New York, so I'm not saying it's all his fault. It's probably not. But for whatever reason, he's been a little bit of a ball magnet ever since he got to Seattle. And he does make occasional plays on the ball, like the interceptions, but over the last 2 years, I don't think you can say the interceptions outweigh the big plays. Rayshawn gave up 1 completion for 19 yards, it looks like, so whatever. Not having a great season overall in coverage, but it's not a big liability when he's not even playing that much. And Kobe Bryant, I don't think it was anything too bad yet. 2 targets, 2 completions for 19 yards, whatever. Still playing pretty good football to my eye. Didn't do anything stand out amazing in this game, but I think he's doing his thing. I like what I see. And if he wants to be the long-term safety here, I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with upgrading over him. Also okay with upgrading over Julian Love. Like, I'm open to a few different things here. Definitely. So, happy with the safety room. Would be happy with upgrades, though. It's fine. And that's kind of how I feel about this game from the past coverage. It was fine. Everything was fine. We needed a little better than fine to win against an elite Minnesota Vikings team. Sometimes fine isn't going to get the win. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos later. It is Christmas, so maybe not as many as usual, but I do need to fire some of these weekly videos early so we can clear the deck for tomorrow. So everyone have a good day, and go Hawks.